So we got some homework questions to go over. Good. That means you're working on homework. And I will try, and yes, there are several sent. This number 35 scares me because I got it sent 3 times. So usually when I get a question that's sent 3 times, that usually means it's a dumb question from the publisher. But let's see, because they do put some stupid ones in there. And sometimes if they're real stupid, I don't even fool with them. I just delete them and give y'all points for them. But let's see what this one is. This is, and I don't know, I've got 7 classes, so I don't know what I've done with y'all. I think I've gone over some problems, but just in case, the first letter, the first number is the chapter, the second number is the section, the third number is the homework in the book. If you look at the homework problems in the book, it looks like that number. And the fourth number is the number of the number on the homework, on the, I can't even talk right now, the homework online. Okay? So this one right here is 1.1, number 35 in the book, and number 9 online. And 3 of y'all have sent this question. So either it's something that is way back on the review, or it's a dumb question from the book. Let's see which one it is. And I'll click on it again. There it goes. And it's taking its sweet time. And there it is. A conversion chart gives the following steps to convert Celsius to Fahrenheit, multiply by 9. Okay, this is not a test question. This is a question that pretty much it has on here. This question is designed to confuse the student, all right? Because this is not a test question I would use. A conversion chart gives the following steps to convert Celsius temperatures to Fahrenheit temperatures. You multiply by 9, then you divide by 5 and add 32. And what they're wanting you to do is write the formula. So they're wanting you to do some critical thinking. I understand that, but at the same time, it's not one of my favorite questions. You got C is equal to F. All right, so that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to change it from Celsius to Fahrenheit, or I'm sorry, from Fahrenheit to Celsius. And this is going to be the equation over here. And they say you're going to multiply by 9 and divide by 5. So multiply this by 9 and divide by 5 and add what? That's it. This is a prime example of the question confusing the student. The student knowing how to do it, but the student don't know how to do it because the question is worded stupidly, if that's a word. Okay, so that's it. This is not a test question. I would just ask you to memorize that if I was going to test you on it. That's it. Not a test question. But hopefully, Miss Miller, that helps you out a little bit. I done lost you somewhere out there. I wish they would put these things in alphabetical order. Yes, ma'am. Miss Miller, were you going to say something?
I said that helps. Thank you.
Yeah, it's not a big deal. It's just the way it's worded. There's a lot of times I disagree with the questions. A lot of times. So we're going to put in C is equal to, actually it's big C. Some of my science geek coming out there. And 9 divided by 5, F plus 32. That should be it. I don't care what you say, Bubba. That's it. So, oh, excuse me. That I did the. Okay, I'm sorry. I thought they were asking for Celsius. A conversion chart gives the following steps to convert Celsius temperatures. Okay, I'm sorry. I did it backwards. See, even I get confused. So all you got to do is just change this to Fahrenheit. Change this to Celsius. Sorry about that. Not a fan favorite of mine. And besides, it's an algebra class. I'm going to ask you algebra questions. It's an algebra question. It's more of a formula question, not one of my favorites. So that's the same one that's going to be asked here also. So hopefully, let's see if this is the same question. Yep, same question. And you actually did it correct. They just don't want this 9/5 C. So actually, whoever did this question, you actually did it correct. They just didn't like it. Okay? All you need to do right here is take that times out and take the parentheses out and put a C right there. So whoever did this question actually did it right mathematically. They just didn't like the way it was written. So if you did that on a test, I would probably, that was Miss Miller, Miss Craig was the first one. Miss Miller, you actually did it correct. I would probably circle it and say simplify if it was a old-fashioned test. I wouldn't mark it wrong because you actually did it mathematically correct. What else we got? Let's see what Miss Cruz. Okay, I want to say Miss Cruz, but I don't know. Yerlin. I don't know if is that masculine or feminine? I'm looking for you. Yerlin, that's feminine? Yerlin, did I say that correctly?
Yes, Yerlin.
Okay. Yerlin. What origin is that from? Where
Honduras.
Honduras. Okay. No habla español. All right. So let's see what that one looks like. All of my Spanish is self-taught. Yep, same thing. Same question. I didn't know if they changed it to the Fahrenheit or the Celsius. That's why I was checking. So is it a test question? No. Is it a homework question? Yes. All right, so I'm going to delete that one. This is 1.14910. 1.14910. 1.149/10. Oh my Lord, what is all this? A couple wants to buy a $32,000 car and can borrow the money for the purchase at 9%, paying it off in 3, 4, or 5 years. The table to the right gives the monthly payment and total cost of the purchase, including the loan, for each of the payment plans. Suppose that when the payment is over 10 years, P of T represents the monthly payment and C of T represents the total cost for the car. Use this information to answer parts A through D. They done lost me. Let's go with A. Find P of 5. In other words, A, find P of 5. In other words, what is it after 5 years? So I'm going to put my handy dandy right here. What is it after 5 years? That's what that's asking. So you put down, I'm wondering the cost, it says find P of 5 and write a sentence that explains. Okay, 5 is $39,856.20 with a monthly payment of $664.27. Since they're asking for the cost, well, you could say the payment. The car is financed over 5 years and the payment is $664. Well, I'm kind of confused on what they want. And write the sentence that explains its meaning. Well, you could say both of these are the answer. A is 8 what? 664.27. And you could go here and say, I don't know, the car financed over the total cost is $39,856.20. I don't know. I'm a little bit confused on which one they want. Anybody want to help me out here? Find P of 5 and write a sentence that explains the meaning. Select the correct choice and fill the answers. Am I wrong, or does that, you could answer both of those? Am I wrong?
I think you're just supposed to use the chart like you said.
I'm sorry, say again.
You're just supposed to use the chart like you're doing. That's just.
I know, but there's two possible answers there. Is that, am I not correct?
You are. See, it says the payment, so the monthly payment would be $664, and the total cost would be the $39,856.
Yeah, but you can't choose both of them.
I chose
That's what I don't understand. 856. This is another one of those stupid questions. I agree with the content, but I don't understand how you're supposed to. Okay, well then I'll just do A then. But there's nothing in this question that asks for the payment.
I think it's because in the thing it says P of T represents monthly payment.
Oh,
so
the
if it has
P.
on
Okay,
it-
okay, you're right. Okay, I didn't even catch that. Thank you. P of T right there. Sorry, that's the payment. So they're wanting P of T right here. Thank you. P of T and P is payment. So thank you very much for that. All right, what is the total cost of the purchase if it is financed over 3 years? Total cost will be $36,633.60. And that would be C of 3. I didn't know they were going to get that persnickety. 36,633.6. What is C of T at 38,223? That's C of 4. How much will the couple save if they finance the car for 4 years instead of 5? Well, you pull out your handy dandy calculator and you take 5 years and you subtract 4 years. So 5 years is 39,856.20, 39,856.2 minus 38,223.84. If I typed in everything okay. 1629.36. 1629.36. Uh-oh, let me check it. How much will couple save? That's 4 years rather than 5. Okay, I must have typed something in wrong. Let me check my math. 39,856.2, 38,223. I typed it in wrong. I suck. 223. 1632.36. Actually, I do this stuff to make sure that y'all understand that nobody's perfect. I'm just kidding. I just make mistakes like everybody else. Okay, on a scale from 1 to 10, content-wise, this is a good question. The way it's worded sucks. And what tells you, and thank you, whoever told me that, I don't know if it was Miss Wilson or what, but the P right here, I didn't even catch that when I was reading the question. P of T is payment, C of T is cost. And it says that right there. I just was too much male. Males don't read directions very well. Okay, so is this a test question? No. Is it a homework question? Yes. Like I said, content-wise, it's a good question. I guarantee you that confused most of y'all because you didn't pick up on the P right there. I didn't either. I think it would have been better if it said find P of 5 and then put in parentheses or the payment. I think that would have helped you pick up that a little bit better, but that's just me. Next question. Oh, we're glad to get some algebra questions. All right, that's 1.1, so I'm going to delete that one. This is 1.1, 67, 13. 1.1, 67, 13. 1.1, 67/13. Suppose that the cost is C in dollars of removing P% of the particulate pollution from the smokestack of a power plant is given by C of P is equal to 221 times P over 100 minus P. Use the fact that percent is measured between 0 and 100 and find the domain of this function. C of 80 and C of 90. That's A and B. Well, what number cannot be in the denominator? What number cannot be in the denominator?
0.
So set the denominator equal to 0. So I'm going to write this down. C of P is equal to 221 times P over 100 minus P. To find the domain of any function, especially a rational function, set denominator equal to what? And solve. Solve. Make sure you solve after you get through. Solve. I suck. I need to take some medication. Set denominator equal to 0 and solve. So 100 minus P is equal to 0. Minus 100 minus 100. Negative P is equal to negative 100. P is equal to 100. So we can use all numbers from 0 to 100. That is the domain. I can write that in interval notation, 0 to 100. Or I could put it in set builder notation. This is the algebra I'm talking about. This is algebra. This is what I teach. 0 to 100, and then you could do X or P such that P is between 0 and 100. So that's interval notation, and that's set builder notation. That is a test question. Now, I don't care what the question is asking. I'm going to ask you for the domain of a function. And especially a rational, set the denominator equal to 0. What if it was a radical? What if I gave you, and I'm going to just show you this as a test question because I'm showing you the mechanics. What if I gave you the square root of x minus 3 in a function, and I said, what's the domain of that function? Well, what can you not have if this is a 2? If that is a square root, or a fourth root, or a sixth root, or a eighth root, or a 10th root, you can't have what under the radical? That means I want somebody to say something. It's called a QUE. That means, okay, somebody say something.
Is it the
Go ahead.
The X.
A negative? Did you say a negative?
I said a
I think
negative.
you said
Yes.
you cannot take the even root. I can. Even root of a negative number. Can't do it. Can't take the even root of a negative number. So we got to set this equal to 0 and find out what gives us a negative. So x minus 3 is equal to 0. X is equal to 3. So 3 will give us 0, and you can take the square root of 0, but you can't take the square root of a negative. So what numbers will give us a negative number? Well, 3 is on the number line right here. There's 0, there's 3, and there's 4. So let's see what 4 gives us. 4 minus 3 is a whole number. 5 minus 3 is so we can use any numbers greater than what? Greater than 3, Hubert. That's right, class. So if I wanted to write this in interval notation, I know I'm a smart ass. 3, comma, infinity. And you could write it in set builder notation, x, such that x is greater than or equal to 3. Now, why did I show you a radical right after I showed you a rational? Because domain, and I'm going to put this in red. If I put something in red, that means it's important. Domain is only affected right now, with radicals and rationals. So that's why I'm showing you these two. Most of the time, if you don't have a radical or rational, the domain is not affected, and it's all real numbers most of the time. So that's a review over how to find the domain of a rational, meaning a fraction, or a radical, and or a radical with an even root, with an even index. Okay, so we answered the first part of the question, meaning the domain is from 0 to 100. So let me find my handy dandy question again. My question just disappeared. Where'd it go? There it is. So 0 to 100. We can use 0, so no. Yeah, we can use 0. 100 minus 0, I don't know why. Hey, use the fact between and find the domain of this function. The domain should be 0 to 100, and it should be inclusive of 0 because you can 100 minus 0, you can use 0. I don't know why that's not. Should be A. I didn't think that was right because it's not all real numbers. Oh, I know why. And that's not right because you can't. That is the range. If you was to plug in, that's not right. Oh, here we go. There. Phew. All right, we can't use 100 because that would give you a 0. So that's the answer. Sometimes it helps when you scroll down. See, I thought there was only 3 answers. I apologize.
Is it like possible we could go over it? Number
Say again,
one,
what?
like question number 1, like letter C.
Question number 1, letter C. What do you mean?
There's like 3 parts to question 1. I was wondering if you could like look at C, which is like.
Oh, did I not finish that one? I suck. All right, I'll finish that one. You talking about the one that I did first?
No, it's a different one. I was just looking at my assignments and I skipped over that one. I didn't know how to do
Okay,
it.
hold on. Let me finish this one. In C of 80, we plug in C of 80, so that's going to be, let's go with C of 80. So that's going to be C of 80 is equal to 221,000 times 80 divided by 100 minus 80. And that's going to be some BA number. 221,000 times 80 divided by 20. And 20 divided by 80 is what? 4? So 221 times 4 and add 3 zeros. 221 is dang old 884. 884, 000, and I bet you $1 somebody typed that in a calculator. If you type that in a calculator, shame on you. Okay? Because you shouldn't have to type in 4 times 221,000. You don't need to be able to type that on a calculator. Watch me get it wrong. Because I didn't type it in a calculator. Probably going to get it wrong. All right, so that's going to be 884, 1000, and you feel good about yourself. So you don't have to put smokestacks on your truck. C of 90, plug that in. And that's going to be 221. I'm going to just, there we go. C of 90 equals 221,000 times 90 over 100 minus 90. And that's going to be 221,000 times 90 divided by 10. Don't you dare use a calculator. 10 will go into 90 9 times. And that's 221 times 9. And add 3 zeros. So 9 times 1 is 9. 9 times 2 is 18. Bring you 1. 9 times 2 is 18. Plus that's 19. 3 zeros. Should be 198,900. If I did my math right. $198,900. Oh, wait a minute. 3 zeros. 3 zeros. Sorry. It'd be 1,989,000. 1,989,000. 1,989,123. And you feel good about yourself, so you don't have to put on too much makeup and have an orange face and a white neck. And people call Oompa Loompa. Oompa Loompa. Doopity-doo. Oh my gosh! I believe I got some people smiling. Go ahead and wipe those smiles off your face. You're not supposed to smile. Got to keep that creed. Don't communicate and don't smile at the teacher. All right, now I finished that problem. Now, Miss Miller, you want me to go back to your problem that you sent, and there's a section C?
No, if it's a different problem. It's like question number 1.
Okay, well, you need to send, did you send it to me?
No, I was just looking over it now and I realized that I didn't. I can send it to you now.
Send it to me now. And I'll go back and pull up another question while she's sending that one. Okay, that one we just did was 167.13. Mr. Turner, that help out a little bit? And this is, I don't know what that is. This says 1AT. Oh God, it's one of the books putting letters in there. I don't know what that means. 1AT, folks, I don't know what AT stands for. 1.AT.31/12. Oh God, this is probably going to ask for how many people attended Wimbledon and what was their addresses. I don't even know what AT stands for. Automatic transmission. Okay, this is not bad. Express the following. This is in regular notation. I'm going to go ahead and get a review in here right quick. This is called regular notation. This is usually what you have when you end a problem. This is just regular solution notation, inequality. And I'm going to write it in set builder notation. When I do a review, sometimes I take a problem and I integrate the review into the problem. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm integrating a review section into a problem. Set builder notation. You just rewrite this with a set of braces, put an X such that, and then just rewrite whatever's here. That is called set builder notation. And then interval notation. Interval notation, the best way to do interval notation is to graph this function. That arrowhead's called positive infinity. This arrowhead's called negative infinity. 0, 9, negative 9. What numbers are above 9? That means I want somebody to say something. That's another cue. Y'all are starting to affect my psyche. I'm gonna have to go and put special things on my truck to overcompensate for people not talking to me today. What numbers are above 9? Numbers to the right of 9, Hubert. That's right, class.
10, 11, 12.
What? Do we include 9? Yes, we include 9 because it has an equal sign there. So it gets a BA solid circle there. Now, somebody read that from left to right. Well, we start at 9. And we end in what? Infinity. And that is interval notation. So now you've got regular notation, you've got set builder notation, and you've got interval notation. Who's got a question? Now this is a test question, but it's also a good question because I was able to integrate a review into it. And not only did you get regular notation, but you got set builder notation, graphing, and interval notation. And nobody's going to say anything, so I'm going to assume that nobody has a question. So, and that's that one. Let me see if, did you send that question? Because sometimes it takes the questions to my Math 155 folder. I don't know why it does that, but I got to fix it. Okay, you didn't send it. I don't see it.
I can try sending it again.
Well, it might have went to my 130 folder. I meant my 109 folder. So let me. It'll be at the top. Nope. I don't see it. You remember what number it was? Might be this one. Yeah, the first one. There it is. 1.1. We're going back a little bit. Yeah, you sent it twice. 1.11. 1.111. Let's see what this one is. And first of all, is it a test question? I have no idea. It looks like this is one of those questions that they're going to ask 15,000 parts. So, and I do not like. Okay, I'll tell you this right now. On my test questions, I like short and sweet. I like just answer the question. I don't like A through Z parts. I don't like that. So this one would probably not be a test question, although each individual question might be a test question, just not 4 parts. Okay, so we've got, I'm gonna put this back in pre-algebra so we can do it like we were in pre-algebra. X, Y, and my X values are -8, -4, -6, 6, 14, 19, and 22. And my Y values are 4, 5, 7, 3, 14, 12, and 15. I want to see what this thing looks like before I even start, because that's a good thing. That's a good habit to get into in algebra. So -8, +4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, +4. 1, 2, 3, 4. -4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and positive, what, 5? Well, that's 4, so 5 would be right in there. Now I realize this is extra work. Okay, and I know some of y'all are allergic to extra work, but sometimes it pays off to do a little bit more. It's called motivation, you know. That's how people get trophies. I know, I'm a smart ass. -6, +7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 5, 6, 7. +6 and +3. And 14 and 14. Well, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 14's way up here. And 19, I'm just going to exaggerate. 19 and 22 is way up here. And 22 and 15 is down here, way up here. So 22 and this number down here is -8. So somebody tell me what my domain is.
-8 and 22.
So -8 domain is -8 to 22. Excuse me, I got the COVID. I need to lay off them Marlboro Reds too. Thing's gonna kill me one day. And my range is from 0, because I don't, well, technically it doesn't include 0. And technically my lowest number is what, 3? I think that's a 3, isn't it? Yeah. So from 3 to what? This number up here is what, 22? So that's my range. Say again?
15.
I think 22 is the highest. No, you're right, 15. Thank you. So there's your domain and range. I don't know what else they're going to ask for, but we'll look at it in just a second. Next question, or wait a minute, let's see what the next question says. Okay, -6. -6 is input, good. Did we talk about the Kool-Aid and the domain and range and the function? Did we talk about that? Good. I didn't know if I gave you all that information. If f of -6, if you plug in -6 as input, is f of, I'm sorry, if f of -6, well, -6 is input. Excuse me? Is f of -6? Oh, okay. Now see, I would say the result of f of -6 is output or input. It's output. The result. Okay, that's kind of confusing there. So I can see why you would have got that wrong if you got it wrong. I would say the result of f of -6 is output. That's B. C, we did the domain and range already. The domain is -8 to 22. She got that right.
It said I got that one wrong, is why I was asking about that.
Speak up, ma'am.
It said I got that one wrong.
Well, as far as I know, you didn't. I don't know what they want. Oh, they want the individual. Oh my gosh. They want the individual numbers. Whatever. Okay. -8 to 22 is the domain. They want it individual because, I mean, it doesn't say real numbers. Does it say real numbers anywhere? No. Okay, it doesn't say real numbers anywhere. Now, if it said real numbers, then you would have to, or integers, then you would have to do this. But it doesn't say integers anywhere. It just says, what's the domain? So I disagree with that. I'll take both answers. But you see the way, when you do this homework problem, type it in the way if you haven't done it yet, which some of you haven't. then you need to type it in like that. And they're going to want the range the same way. So I've got to go in and type in just like they did with brackets, and just that's going to be what? 4, 5, 7, 4, or 3, 4, 5, 7, 4, 12, 14, and 15. Or 3 to 15. D, explain why this relationship describes y as a function of x. Well, I'm going to show you. As I may have told you before, how do you test a graph of a function? How do you test it when you got a graph? The blank line test. Which one is it?
Vertical.
And I'm going to put these dots together. And I'm going to draw a vertical line through it. And it crosses one time, so it is a function. What are not functions? Hyperbola and circles or ellipses. They are not functions because you have 2 y's for 1 x. Can't have 2 y's for 1 x. 2 y's of 1 x either gives you a parabola or some type of ellipse or circle. That's why you need to graph it. That extra work, I tell you what. No why anybody would want to do extra work. So each input gives exactly 1 output. That is the definition of a function. Not 2 outputs. And not, well, you could have more than 2. But let's see, does this one give you? No, I don't think so. I think A is your answer. I like some parts of this question. I like what it's asking. I don't agree with this. So I guess you could say each one of these are good test questions. I wouldn't give you this as a 4-part. Well, it is kind of simple, but I still would probably give, these are 4 good test questions, and I disagree since they don't write integers. Now, if it said the domain in integers, then yes, I would agree with that. But it doesn't say integers. Integers are whole numbers. Does that help, Miss Miller?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let's go back to the questions. And I'm going to take those 2 off. R3 45/3. I'm sorry. R3 45/13. Oh my, this is our last question. I don't see any more questions. Means we can go into some more material. Excuse me. I can only yawn 2 more times in class. G of x is equal to square root of 5x plus 6. Now, I'm going to go ahead and tell y'all something. I don't know what's gotten into these math books lately, but here lately, they've been really, I've never written an equation and put the number first. I've always put the variable first. So these last couple of years, I've noticed that the books are starting to write it differently. So I don't. I go against the grain. I always have, and I will rewrite it. So I've already talked to you about this in our little review session. This, if there's nothing here, it's assumed to be a square root. So that means I've got to find the numbers that make this a negative. So 5x plus 6 is equal to 0. 5x is equal to negative 6. And, excuse me, that's 2 yawns. X is equal to negative 6/5. So we got to find out what negative 6/5 do to our function. And negative 2. All right, 6/5 is what, 1 1/5? All right, so let's plug in 0. What's 5 times 0? 0 plus 6 is positive. That's good. Let's plug in a 1. 1, that's 11. Square root of 11 is positive. So it looks like that we can use, we can take the square root of 0, and I can use all positive numbers. So that means my domain for this function is negative 6/5, comma, infinity. All right, that's my third yawn. That means I got to get kicked out of class. Did I tell y'all about the teacher that threw about three yawns? You got thrown out of class. Did I tell you about that teacher? Oh yeah, she got fired. Dumbass. I mean, pick your own battles. Why in the world would you throw out a student for yawning? We had a Spanish teacher. He decided he was just going to go ahead and do some illegal substances and just leave the office door unlocked. You know, to have several degrees, there are some dumbass instructors out there, let me tell you. We had one, did I ever tell you about the red solo cup teacher? Oh, this guy, he brings a red solo cup to the 8 o'clock class. Then after the 8 o'clock class, he goes out to the car and fills it back up, brings it back in. After the 9 o'clock class, goes out, fills it back up, has 5 classes. He's smashed by 2 o'clock. He was fired. If I even make a joke about something like that, yes, Hubert, he was joking about it, but I think he was really doing it. I mean, I just joke about it and I would get called to the carpet. These people actually did this crazy stuff. And nobody says a word. Thank you. Just thought I would kind of, just kind of deviate from the, but y'all don't want to talk about anything, so we'll just keep on going. Next question. Oh, let's see if we were right. Negative 6/5 to infinity and beyond. And change that to a bracket. That should be it, unless let me check my negative 6/5 to infinity. And you feel good about yourself after you wait a while. Okay. Okay. Well, evidently the Russians, there we go. Damn Russians. Fantastic. So I do not have to wear sunglasses indoors. Girls, that's your #1 indicator If you ever see a guy wearing sunglasses inside, run in the other direction. That is future domestic violence. Run. Next. I'm going to write a book one day, and it's going to be called When to Run. Damn, I'm going to write that book one of these days. And that, my friends, is all of your homework questions that you have sent me. Everybody good so far? Okay. And that's how it works. But of course, you got to do the homework to actually send a question. And for some of y'all, I don't know what you're waiting on. I mean, I looked through the homework and some of y'all hadn't even done the first question. I guess y'all think y'all going to wait until I give y'all a date and then you're going to do it. Well, that's not going to work either. So I guess y'all are just not going to do it, I guess. I don't know. All right, so let's look at your homework. And let's see what else is in there besides the ones that we've went over. Oh my goodness, we couldn't open it. So now I need to call my teacher and say that my computer don't work. Give me a second, I'm just logging on. It only takes about 45 seconds. There we go. And let's see, the reason I want to look at your homework is so I can see one of the classes. Okay, so we did a few of the review questions. We did some 1.1. Some people are still working. So I'm going to go into 1.1 and look at a couple of questions. Don't forget to do your skills check also. And it looks like I've already done a couple of questions in here. Let's pull up another question. And I'll do a couple in each one. Okay, this is not a function because it's hyperbola, so it's not a function. That's a test question. Y'all may think that that's not a test question, but that is a test question. I put a couple of these on the test just to give you some points. Okay, so that is a test question. This is a function. What is the domain? Well, it's got arrowheads. So arrowheads mean negative infinity to positive infinity. Negative infinity, comma, positive infinity. And that should make you feel better about yourself. The range, well, you got to blow it up a little bit to see where the vertex is. Looks like the vertex is at, I don't know, what is that? 2, 4, 6. God, you got to blow it up even more. Oh my Lord. There's no way. I say negative 16, but y'all got to use a magnifying glass. I can't even see that. I'm going to say negative 16 to infinity. Negative 16 to infinity. I switched from Leonard Skinner to, Guns N' Roses, and then I switched to Eagles, and then AC/DC. So I switched my ringtones. And if you didn't know the name of that song, it's your parents' fault, and I wouldn't tell anybody that I didn't know the name of that song. That's one of the best songs. Shut up, Peter. All right, so negative 16, that, and shut up. Negative 16 to infinity. That is a test question, good test question. All right, I'm going to jump on over to 1.2, do some questions out of there. I'm just trying to do a little bit out of each. Let me do question 6. Okay, use a graphing calculator to find the points in the table. Use to report f of x, same as axis, to the points. I have no idea what this is saying, but I'm going to show you how to do whatever I can do with it. First of all, use the Excel spreadsheet. Now, we are going to use the Excel spreadsheet in here because you have quite a bit of business applications. So we are going to use the Excel spreadsheet. And that means that I'm going to click on this little icon right here and copy to Excel. And there it is. Now watch what I do here. You might need to take notes. I realize that one or two of you might think you've written Excel, but you didn't, because you wouldn't be going to Tri-County Tech. You would be on a yacht somewhere. All right, so here is the function. And I'm going to copy these right here. And I'm going up to Insert. And I'm just going to do you can do a scatter plot. And there is the scatter plot. And you can actually right click on one of those. And you can hit Add Trend Line. And it will give you a formula for that line. Okay, so that is kind of what they're wanting. I don't know what they're wanting, but that's what I would ask you if I was giving you a question like this on the test. Now, if you want to do it on a calculator, you go to, I'm going to try to make this big as possible. Give me a second. I'm doing this for y'all. Y'all are welcome. Okay, clear. And we're going to hit Stat, Edit, and punch those numbers in. So -3. And do not use the keyboard on the calculator, on the computer. You got to use the keyboard. So aggravating. Sorry. -3, and then there. -1, 1, 5, 7, 9, 11. 5, 7, 9, 11. And I think that's that. Go over here, type in your Y's. -39, -17, -39, -17, 5, 49, 71, 93, 115. Now we need to go to stat plot, go to second, y is equal. Click enter for on. It automatically defaults to stat plot and L1 and L2. So all you need to do is hit graph. And let me get rid of my clear. And graph. And hold on a second. Let me get rid of X is equal to. Give me a second to clear that. There. Now you can't see it, so you hit mode or zoom and go down to 9, zoom stat. There's your points. Ain't that pretty? Now, how do you find the formula in the TI calculator? Well, you hit stat. Let me get out of the graph. Hit stat, calculate, go down to linear regression, number 4. Excuse me, and calculate. And there it is. Y is equal to negative 6x plus 11. I'm sorry, 11x minus 6. Sorry about that. So that's how you do it on the calculator, and that's how you do it on the Excel spreadsheet. Now let's see what they want. Well, it looks like B. What else do they want? We graphed it. What else? B. Use a graphing utility to graph the equation on the same set of axes. Okay, well, that's going to look like that. It's going to look like this right here. Do the points fit? Duh. Yes, points fit. On the same line. That's it. Wait a minute. Do the respective values of x and y in the labels satisfy the equation in part B? Yes. I guess it does. Without punching each one in, I would assume yes. That's it. 4 good test questions, or 1 or 2 good test questions, because one has to deal with the other. But okay test questions, but use your calculator or your Excel spreadsheet. And let me go and do number 10. So this is all should be kind of a review.
Hey, Professor.
Yes.
I just want to let you know that if I randomly leave class, my computer died.
You randomly what?
Leave class, my computer died.
Okay. It's no big deal.
So I'm okay.
Well, I tell you what, I need to do something anyway. I need to check y'all's attendance, because the first 2 days I didn't take attendance, or I did take attendance. I didn't put a subtraction symbol in for the ones that were absent. So I just want to check to make sure. So I'm going to go do that. I'm going to turn the recording off. Y'all should be still working on chapter 1 material, 1.1 through that 1.4, 1.5, because it is kind of a review, and we're doing it as a review. Stop recording.